Alrighty, YouTube, it's your boy, Noto, back again with another video. So, I guess this tends to be a big trend of mine where a big topic in the gaming industry comes out and I'm like a week late to the party. So, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. So, let's just get into it. So, PlayStation, aka also Sony, has decided to announce that they are a competitor to Game Pass. And the way they're going about it, in my opinion, is mixed at best. So, I guess we gotta break it down. It's gonna be in 3 tiers. So the basic tier, which is gonna be $9.99 monthly and not $60 yearly, which is just basic PlayStation Plus. You get online multiplayer, cloud saves, free PlayStation Plus games monthly, basic PlayStation Plus. And then we get into the next tier, which is gonna be either general, I guess the mid-tier, where it's going to be $15 monthly and then it's going to be $9.99 yearly. And this is just for basically you get a collection of PlayStation 4 and PS5 games. They say it's going to be around 300 to 400 games in total, but what those games consist of is probably like games they already have released, like Spider-Man, Death Stranding, God of War 1, Last of Us, the go-to PlayStation games, which, I mean, it's fine. But the second thing about this tier is the fact that Jim Ryan has come out and said that they're not going to have exclusives be day one with PlayStation Plus Premium. Their reasoning behind it is that they feel that if they release, say, God of War Ragnarok day one on PlayStation Plus Premium, it's gonna kill their game sales, and they would rather just have you spend $70 instead. In my personal opinion, I think that's kind of lame. If you want to be a competitor to Game Pass, not having your games day one is not exactly enticing for people to buy it. I mean, if you have good games, sure. But I mean, like, the reason I feel like day one exclusives is a reason for people to stay subscribed. Because once you beat that game, it's like, once you beat the games they already want to play, why would I want to keep paying for a subscription, which, if there's no, like, day one exclusive, if that makes sense. Well, I guess to give an example is, for example, you play the games you want to play, right? But a new game just came out, fucking Spider-Man 2 just came out, right? You can't get on Plus, so it's like, well, okay, I'll just cancel my subscription and then just save up money and then just, buy Spider-Man 2. Because you already played the games you wanted to play, and there's no point of being still subscribed if Spider-Man 2 is not day one on PlayStation Plus Premium. So yeah, that's my tangent. But anyways, the biggest tier, which I feel like has a lot more controversy behind it, mainly what sets this tier apart from the previous tiers is the fact that, $17.99 a month and $120 yearly, what you get with it is you get to play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PSP games. You might think, oh, that's a lot of, that's almost like the entire PlayStation catalog right there. It's everything bundled up into one service. That's pretty cool, right? You may think so, but there's some caveats. One, sure, they have a collection of 400 games in total, but most of those games are going to be using emulation, which I'm kind of having a red flag there. Let's just hope the emulation is good, but you never know. Emulation is jank. On top of that, if you want to play PS3 games, you gotta stream them via PS Now, which is god-awful. I'm sorry, but any game, I mean, even with, like, cloud gaming or anything, it's gonna be compressed. You're gonna have a shit ton of fucking input lag. That's just not an optimal way to play those games, and I feel like that's just kind of lazy. Especially if you're gonna have these games on the PS5, you're telling me you can't make a PS3 emulator, which there already is a PS3 emulator that exists on PC, and honestly isn't that hard to run games on to begin with. So yeah, I just feel like this is kind of laziness coming from Sony if they're not willing to make a PS3 emulator. But yeah, that's just kind of lame. And another reason why I'm kind of skeptical about this service is the fact that even with the mid-tier, which just has PS4 games, depending on what the games have, it depends on whether the developers opt in on it. Especially with PS1 and PS2 games, like, there's probably games like Silent Hill, Siphon Filter, or other, like, really awesome, like, I would imagine you're gonna get the bigger, games like Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, but, like, there's some, like, awesome classic PS1 games that you may not see on there because, developers are defunct, or, their current rights holders don't want to put their game on the service. That just tends to be the case sometimes. And another reason why I think this service is inferior to Game Pass is because with Game Pass, all you need to do is pay for $9.99 a month. You don't need to have Game Pass Ultimate, and you get to play Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and original Xbox games. 4 generations of Xbox consoles, all for one price. Admittedly, there's less OG Xbox and 360 games, but you don't need to pay a higher premium just to play fucking original Xbox games. And on top of that, for Xbox, if you have a Series X, you can get your old copy of fucking Breakdown. You know, if anyone remembers that game, pop in your Xbox Series X and it'll work. You know, obviously, with the Xbox brand, you need to know which games work and which games don't work, which sucks, but even then, it's still better than what PlayStation is offering. Like, PlayStation right now, you can't even do anything in terms of backwards compatibility, and their solution is literally a subscription service, which is at the hands of whether the rights holders can even, you know, give permission to put their games on the service. You know, for example, if there is an Xbox game that the Xbox Series X is compatible with, but is delisted on it, the Xbox Store, if you have the original disc, you can still play it on your Series X. For example, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection is delisted on the Microsoft Store, but if you have the original disc, you can play it on your Series X. So that's pretty dope. That means, like, hey, if you still have your physical hardware, you can still play the game. You can't do that with the PlayStation, though. That's kind of shitty. But yeah, overall, like, my whole opinion is, I just feel like I'm really skeptical about this whole thing. And honestly, the main thing about this video I want to come across is I just have a feeling you're gonna have your, you know, the JTech TVs, the, you know, the go-to PlayStation fanboys who would just damage control and just, you know, accept the shittier product just because it's their brand. It's like, oh, look, we have our version of Game Pass, guys. Look at us. What? And it's like, dude, like, I'm sorry, but Game Pass is a better deal. It's not only cheaper, but, you know, I honestly think that Game Pass may have better games, you know, and honestly, I just think what makes Game Pass better alone is the fact that you have day one exclusives. Say what you want about Halo Infinite or whatever, but if you have Game Pass, you don't need to spend a dime. All you gotta do is pay $10 a month and you can play Halo Infinite all you want. The campaign, for that matter, which is really cool. I think that's gonna be the biggest deciding factor in what people, you know, are gonna take of this new PlayStation Premium service, is the fact that, you know, especially since PlayStation has all these really good exclusives, if they're not gonna make those games day one with their service that they're having a higher premium for, it's like, after you're finished with all the games, you know, the service has to offer, you know, what's the point of subscribing if the game you're looking forward to is not going to launch on the service you're already paying for? So, for example, if I already beat The Last of Us, or God of War, or Ragnarok, or whatever's on the PlayStation Premium service, and the game I'm looking forward to is Spider-Man, I'll just say cancel my subscription, save up my money, and then buy Spider-Man 2, because the game I want is not going to be in the service, so why would I want to spend money on it? And that goes for the PlayStation games and PS2 games. Like, they can have all the games they want, but if they don't have games that particularly interest me, then I don't think it's gonna be worth. And that's the way I see it. If there's not a game in the service, you know, that you're interested in, and it's not worth buying, in my opinion. Like, you can have all the games you want, but if there's like not a single game that's worth playing, then why pay for it? You know, that's like buying Netflix, you know, monthly, and then not watching any movies it has, you know? So yeah, that's the way I see it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe, and, you know, I'll see you guys next time.